Hey everyone, in today's hug, we're going to talk about a pattern interrupt. Okay, so yesterday we talked about personal responsibility, and oftentimes there's patterns or behaviors that we participate in, and I'm going to share a story about me personally, but there's a way to interrupt them. So last week I was having a crummy week. My dog died. And it was traumatic, and I was having a hard time coping. So my son and his girlfriend had brought home these cookies, and they cut them into quarters. And I normally don't eat any sweets, but one of these days last week, I was, just not myself. And I actually ate a quarter of one of the cookies, and then I'm like, ooh, that was good. I want more. And I knew that there's a freezer full of cookies that my mother-in-law bakes and we just don't eat them. And so part of me, I was like, I'm just going to binge on cookies. And I know that that's not something that Tracee normally does because I know that it just doesn't make me feel good. It's just really bad for my health. And so, but I had to get out of that mindset because I was like bound and determined that I was going to eat cookies last week. So what did I do? Well, I had to create a pattern interrupt because my brain is focusing on those chocolate chip cookies in the freezer. But my heart that loves me says, Tracee, you really don't want to do that. You're really going to regret it later. And so I had to create a pattern interrupt. So what I did was I'm like, delete, get those thoughts out of my brain. And then I took off and went for a walk outside. So that was my pattern interrupt. It got me out of the situation into a safe zone, both in my head and then physically. So I invite you to be mindful and catch yourself when you're falling down a slippery slope. It could be anything, you guys. It doesn't have to mean cookies or whatever is calling your name that is not pushing you towards your goal or pulling you towards your goal, right? It could be anything. Some people it's alcohol. Some people it's spending money. Some people, video games. It could be anything. But if it is not helping you get to where you really want to go, then it's good to interrupt that pattern. I always tell my clients it's about pivoting faster. So when we're focusing on what we want and we're living in peace energy, we're floating down a river. When we are focusing on the absence of that, we're paddling upstream. Now, nobody's perfect and everybody's going to paddle upstream once in a while, but the secret is pivoting faster. And that pivot is a pattern interrupt. Okay? So mine is simple. It's delete, and then just get out of the situation. Going out for a walk of gratitude is my favorite. I give thanks to everything I see. You need to find what yours is going to be, but it's good to have some tricks so you know what you're going to do. So in your journal, write down a couple different things that you can do for a pattern interrupt. Maybe it's calling a friend. Maybe it's grabbing a book and a cup of hot tea and going outside to read. Maybe it's taking a hot bath. I don't know what it is, but commit to something that's going to save you from things that are not designed for your higher purpose. Okay? All right, let's finish with this. Wrap your arms around. Give yourself a squeeze. Take a deep breath in, and then just release anything that is tension and holding you back. Doesn't that feel so good? So I know that you're going to go out and make it a beautiful day. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next hug.